This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
Everyone wants to taste me strawberry schmiggles.
And we do have strawberry schmiggles.
Right
Johnny
here.
was able to bring it in from Comic-Con. You've had it for a while.
C2E2.
Same thing. Is
No.
it the same thing?
Not the same thing.
C2E2 is a type of Comic-Con.
Comic-Con is actually a thing.
It's not Wizard World. It's not San Diego Comic-Con, but C2E2 is a con where comics are there and...
Ooh, look at me trying to break it down and
Let's be completely
make my
honest.
argument valid.
If I went to Wizard World and then I went to C2E2, they have their differences, but the same people are there. Some of the same people are there. It's not all the same, but you get what I'm saying. It's a type of Comic-Con. That's what I'm going at, Mr. Johnny Karlic over there. But thank you guys for joining. This is a very
Comic
rough intro.
Entertainment Expo.
If you're new coming into this one, it's more like a mommy just hit daddy at the dinner table. It's like, oh, okay. Okay, this is how this podcast is going to start. But welcome into the Rick and Johnny podcast. This is where we talk about everything under the two nerdy suns for you guys, talking little comics, talking little superheroes, movies, everything in the entertainment realm. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. Going to be talking about the Incredible Hulk with Avengers, a kind of theory that are we going more towards Professor Hulk in the MCU. Then we're going to look at Wonder Woman, what we expect from Cheetah. We got some more information on what that character will be in Wonder Woman 1984. And then we're going to wrap up the show looking at Stranger Things. It is coming to Telltale Games. And we're going to give our thoughts and reactions of what that would be like. Before we get into everything, though, this is where I got to do a little bit of housekeeping for you guys. Number one, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That's where you can help support the channel. And if you want to, if you support us at the $10 tier, you can be a guest on the Rick and Johnny podcast each and every month. You are at that tier. Also, make sure to check out our store. That link is down below in the description. Neither of us are wearing the MVP shirt today, but you can get a beautiful Most Valuable Podcast t-shirt. Dave, the model, he's modeling it for you on the store. Go and check it out. You can also get the store on mostvaluablepodcast.com along with everything for MVP each and every day. And then last but not least, if you're on Apple iTunes, you're on Apple Podcast, make sure to go rank the Rick and Johnny podcast 5 stars, and then write a little something about why other people should check out the podcast. But Johnny, let's get into our first topic. We are looking at Avengers. We're looking at Hulk. So I want to ask you, with the kind of the arc that we've seen for Hulk so far, do you think the theory of us going to a Professor Hulk, is that where we're ultimately headed in the MCU?
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's very possible that they're going to emulate a type of Professor Hulk, not maybe exactly Professor Hulk from there, or possibly go nearing a Gray Hulk. But I want to note this, that they're going off this from the picture from Avengers poster,
where he's suited
up. He's literally suited up.
He's suited up all the way. The face is more recognizable. It looks like his banner compared to just being the Hulk, and he looks more civilized in the picture that is in the Screen Rant article that'll be down below in the description for you guys.
See, my thought about that with the suit thing. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going. That's not really 100% indication. Oh, hey, this is leaning towards Professor Hulk. Not saying it's not a possible thing. Just like there's other things from the movies that kind of lead to that. Going off of that's not great because maybe they've changed up a little bit more so that hey, Bruce, you kind of have a problem every time of a suit once you change back being naked. Hey, this is a great way to solve that problem. A full body suit that stretches to Hulk size.
Well, and the thing that I'm kind of on the side of, after I read the Screen Rants article, I was like, you know what? I could see them go more towards a Professor Hulk kind of
I'm not
way.
arguing that. It's just there's other things in the MCU.
You're saying that the suit is not the reason why they're going to go Professor Hulk.
Don't use the suit as the reasoning. Use it as part of one of the arguments.
The reasoning for me and why I think we're actually kind of we're already headed that way.
Yeah.
Is because like it says in the article, you already have a 3 movie arc. Where it started in Thor Ragnarok, where basically, really, let's be honest, it started before Thor Ragnarok. It technically started in Age of Ultron it was? When Hulk was just like, bye, deuces, I'm out of here.
Well, even
and
when
he flew out of there on a Quinjet.
Yeah.
And it's like...
made the decision to actually leave.
Well, and that was one thing I never thought about until today reading the article, where I'm like, wow, you know, it is true that, like, Banner, it's always been like, well, I'll Hulk out, and the animal comes out, and all you are is an animal when I need you, and then when I don't need you, go away.
He's a weapon.
He's a weapon. He's a tool that you use for your own benefit instead of an actual other person, another kind of very Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde going on with the Hulk, which, let's be honest, the Hulk's based off of that. But, I mean, it starts there where I was like, wow, I didn't get that watching Civil War, or Age of Ultron it was, where it's basically, that was the Hulk making his own decision of... I'm going to shut off these communicators. I'm just going to fly away. Yeah. They had nothing to do with Bruce Banner making that decision. That decision was all the Hulk. And then when he goes to Sakaar, this is where we're into Thor Ragnarok, then it's much of a, I am going to suppress you just like you suppress me. Let's see how you like it.
Yeah, basically.
And that's where you get a little bit of, over the time on Sakaar, Hulk learns how to talk. He's more vocal than he was before. Instead of just Hulk smash, he's actually talking in some sense.
With like small amount of words and lots of roaring.
Yes.
It's now like, hey, he makes almost full sentences.
Hulk like big burning fire, Thor like small puny fire. Like
small smoldering fire.
Small,
you use the word smoldering.
I would have said puny fire
exactly.
if I was the Hulk. But I mean...
No, it's just puny God.
So that's what you get there. And then Infinity War was the next side of it. So... Hulk gets the crap beat out. Well, first he goes back to Banner in Ragnarok, comes back because the Hulk actually realizes...
Well, Banner realizes that we need to work together type thing.
Yeah, but it's also the Hulk could have done what he did in Infinity War and said no. But he didn't. He came... And the thing I didn't realize when I was watching the movie until the article kind of brought it up is... when he hulked out, like on the Rainbow Bridge, Hulk basically waited until the last possible second. Kind of like maybe a little message to Bruce of like, hey, think about what'll happen if I'm not here.
Yeah.
Like, you would have hit the water and died if I was not here to save you.
He hit the bridge and bounced for a second, like, basically dead, and then he became the Hulk. It's
it's like, you'd be dead without me.
It's like, that's what you get type thing. It's like, don't fuck with me again.
And then we get in the third one of after he gets beat to smithereens by Thanos.
Beat the shit out of him.
It's, well, after Heimdall sends him on his way through the Bifrost, he goes, well, screw this. Makes impact, and then immediately goes to Bruce. Yeah. Like, I'm gone. I'm done. I saved your life so you didn't die by hitting the staircase.
Impact, yeah.
But I'm not going to help you from here on out. And we even see
that. I'm out. I got my ass kicked.
Well, not just that. It's more of it. Like, for me, it was more of the thought in Hulk's head of how many times am I going to get not my ass kicked, but how many times am I going to be just around when you need me to fight? Like, because on Sakaar, that was more of Hulk's choice. Like, Bruce Banner wasn't trying to become the champion. But even after that, you only use me when Hela is throwing everything to shit, and you need my muscle, and then you need my muscle when Thanos attacks.
See, what I got from the Hulk when it came to the movie, it was less about that.
You're talking about Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah. I got less
because they're all movies.
Sorry, when it comes to Infinity War, I think it was less of that because Hulk likes to fight. Yeah, that's what Hulk is. He's Rage Monster. He likes to fight most of the time. It's the way of getting it out. But my thought with that was more of he spent 2 years fighting in a battle arena that he never got beat. Not even by Thor, which, thanks, Grandmaster, you're a cheater.
So it kind of inflates his ego, is what you're saying?
Inflates his ego. And then all of a sudden, yeah, in a sense, it inflates his ego, thinks he's the best fighter around. Then he just gets his ass handed to him by Thanos.
Because let's be completely honest, too, and this is another
It's like
side...
a shell shock.
Well, this is also another side theory.
Yeah.
There are people who believe if you look at the Sakaar and the faces on the Grandmaster's Palace, many believe that where the position of Beta Ray Bill's his statue and his face is, many believe that he was the champion before Hulk.
Yeah.
Because when Hulk gets the Sakaar, he's got to become the champion. He had to beat the champion. That's another side theory of some people think, oh, well, he beat Beta Ray Bill because Beta Ray Bill was the champion. I mean, that's not proven, but that's something that if it is true, holy shit, you beat Beta Ray Bill and then you just started wrecking shit on Sakaar to where it's like no one can beat me until Thor came along.
Yeah. And that's my thought is that from Ragnarok, 2 full years at least of being a champion battle arena.
And not even that, when the Avengers, it's like, oh, if he ever kind of turned against us, what kind of can inflate your ego is you had to make a special Iron Man armor just to fight me.
There's that. There's the fact that they pull him out as the special weapon. Like that kind of would inflate your ego too.
For the Battle of New York.
Anything. Battle of New York. Well, first scene in Age of Ultron where they're all fighting the final Hydra base. Basically any time. That can inflate your ego. Just the fact that he thinks he's strongest there is. In that case, like then 2 years of fighting unbeaten. Even when Thor, also one of the strongest Avengers, probably not the strongest. Go ahead, argue about it.
Because Thor technically beat him. Is that what you're saying?
Thor technically beat him. I mean, if it weren't for the Grandmaster, it would have been really close.
We've had that
closer of a fight.
We've had that discussion before, and there are people on both sides of the table.
Exactly.
That will argue
That's why I'm not gonna. I'm trying not to be like a one side or the other.
Even though you're wearing a Thor shirt.
Well, I mean, this is like. It was $11.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to say there are no biases here.
There's
Johnny.
no biases.
Wink, wink, nudge,
it's
nudge.
not like I'm gonna cosplay as the guy or something. Anyways, so that like 2 years of fighting that's gonna overinflate your ego. Then all of a sudden, hey, we have a Hulk. What? Boom! Like you're starting to win that
and he
fight.
got in some good.
He got a few good licks in before Thanos just boom. Wham!
Not just that, I'm gonna catch both. It was
both
kind
hands?
of like it almost reminded me of like the game you used to play as a kid.
Oh, Mercy,
where it was like you'd lock hands up here, and then it's basically flip them, and it's like how much can you take the pain, basically.
Yeah. But that's
who's inflicting the pain. That's basically what Thanos did. Of like, oh, am I gonna do it? 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 Yeah, you're fucked. Kind of a thing.
Just
the gut punch.
Like a bunch of, then just turn the tides. Basically knocked him the fuck out. And then that's why he didn't want to come back. He's like, no, at that point, he's too scared to come out.
Do you think we see him in, because I'm assuming Avengers 4
most definitely
either ends the arc or it gives us the definitive answer of like, okay, the arc ends. And either now we're at Professor Hulk or we're at the kind of resolution to, if we don't get Professor Hulk, how are these teams, you got to mute that phone, Johnny. How are these two, the team of Banner and Hulk, going to work together? If it's not a Professor Hulk situation, what is that final situation that we get to that resolve in Avengers 4?
In my opinion, it's either going to be Professor Hulk or it's just going to be a nice balance of the two where it's
Do you think we get Grey Hulk?
I don't think we're going to go. I just feel like the MCU isn't focusing enough on Hulk to start introducing that kind of story into it too. So I think we're either going to get a Professor Hulk or just a nice balance of the two, finally saying, you know what, Hulk, we need to work together. You can come out when you ever need to, the times you want to. But you can't keep me bottled up, just like I can't keep you caged. Like, they can't cage each other.
And the one thing that's interesting, and I'll read a little bit from the article that we're referencing, is they bring up a great point of this could all resemble, if true, if Professor Hulk is what we're leading towards, it can resemble a lot of the run in the comics by Peter David, where he was the one that explored the whole idea, and I'll read straight from the article. The Hulk was born from Banner's childhood trauma. Where at the hands of his abusive father, basically, hey, I'm going to suppress all that memory in the back. Do I expect Marvel and Disney to go that route? No. But I can see them going a route of, hey, I can't suppress you and use you. Kind of, I would expect them to go more on the side of, hey, I got to treat you like you're one of my friends. And I can't just keep using you for my own personal gain because that's not what friends do. And this needs to be kind of an equal partnership. And I've got to work on it, but I mean, it'll also be like hey, you got to work on it too. Like if I really need you, man, like, because the whole thing is ever since Ruffalo came on, whenever Banner talks about the Hulk, it was always the other guy.
Yeah.
The other guy. It was never, me when I'm, or us, but it was never like, me when I'm hulked out. It was the other guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other guy's thinking. You'll have to talk to the other guy kind of a thing. I think it would be interesting to go towards a Professor Hulk kind thing. Like
I think so too.
The thing I would, and I know that with Mark Ruffalo, the big question is, I think after Avengers 4, I think he's got one movie left on his contract.
Okay.
Before it's up. I know that like Evans and Stark, well, Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Are the big ones that are up. I think it's Ruffalo that has one more. Because the thing that I know they promised him was the whole reason we're doing this like 3-movie arc is they said instead of doing one standalone Hulk movie, we're just going to have you in these 3 movies, have this arc go over the 3 of them, and that kind of camera time will equal 1 movie. So you get 1 act in Ragnarok. You get another act in Infinity War. You get your final third act in Avengers Endgame, Reassemble, whatever they're going to call it, Avengers 4. Any final thoughts that you have on this before we move on? Is there anything that you think with Avengers 4 and Hulk that they could do or should do? Here's the thing I'll throw out to you, actually. Do you think there's a way, let's say it goes to, you know what, Ruffalo's got one more movie, but he might not come back. Instead of just recasting Bruce Banner for a 3rd time, do you think there's a way down the line maybe we get like a Red Hulk? Where we get a different Hulk. Maybe if it's not Gray Hulk, it's Red Hulk. Or they bring in She-Hulk for some part of it.
You wouldn't do Gray Hulk because that's still an embodiment of Bruce Banner. So you would either bring in She-Hulk. Exactly. You either She-Hulk it, you Red Hulk it, then you'd be bringing in Thunderbolt Ross. Or I think the last one I was going to say was you do a strictly Hulk movie where there is no Banner.
Yeah.
But I was going to say
just the Hulk.
Yeah. I don't know how you do that exactly because I feel like you would have to kind of flip in between once in a while, but I don't know. Those are the 3 possibilities because I mean, you're not going to really use anyone else.
The interesting thing that I think of is, and this is a big what if Ruffalo is done after Avengers 4 with being Bruce Banner, the thing I would lean towards as my guess for how Marvel's going to go at it would be a She-Hulk route.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is I'm going to tag this onto this part of the podcast is Kevin Feige has said recently that not only are they looking to do a Miss Marvel movie and kind of start that right away, when talking about the next phase of movies, because he says they have a 5-year plan. They have their next 5 years worth of movies. So you think about it, that's like 15 movies at least. 15 to 20 movies planned out, whether if they're going to do 3 or 4 movies. We also don't know what their Avengers lineup is going to be, how they're going to change that. If they get the Fox X-Men, how does that change the Avengers lineup?
Exactly.
But I would lean towards, if Ruffalo's like, you know what, after this next movie, I'm done, I would lean towards a She-Hulk, because one of the things Feige did mention was that, hey, we want to go through in our next phase having a lot more female directors come in and do stuff. So what a better way to do that than basically Wonder Woman it, where we're going to have a She-Hulk movie and it's going to be directed by this female director and link that up. Or like we're going to have this Miss Marvel movie, it's going to be directed by this fantastic female director. So out of that, that's why I would lean towards She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Although I don't think that, like, unless I hear an article where it's like, oh, Bruce Banner or Mark Ruffalo might be done as Bruce Banner, I'm not going to assume he's done. The two that I'm going to assume
I wouldn't assume either.
are Evans and Stark.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we move on?
The one thing I was going to say is to do with the Hulk in whatever the fourth movie is going to be called, would be nice, and they describe in this article as well, where he talks to psychologist Doc Samson.
Okay.
And like maybe you have like a small scene where, okay, like Tony like goes, okay, Bruce, get in there and go talk to him. You two need to figure this out because we need the Hulk.
Like as a post-credit scene, or you're talking about a scene in the movie?
A scene in the movie.
Okay.
Because they need the Hulk back. And I can see Tony or Robert Downey Jr. with his snarkiness going, you need to get in there. We need the big green guy. We need the big guy. You two need to figure this out. Look, points at Bruce with two fingers.
Two fingers.
You two need to figure this out. Get in there.
And then it's just them hashing it out with the therapist, which you had said is Samson.
Which is really funny because and correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe even you
For
remember.
audio listeners, Johnny's telling you to correct him, not me. Because you point to the camera, and I always think the audio listeners, we got to start thinking about them a little bit more.
I keep forgetting that they can't see that. Anyone, just correct me. I believe in the Incredible Hulk, which is the one with not Eric Bana. What's the other one? Edward Norton. That there was Doc Samson in there.
The first one you said, the Bana one, that's the Ang Lee one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The one we do not speak of?
The one, well, we accept that it happened and try and move on.
Okay.
Because technically the Edward Norton one references that. And we can't say it doesn't. It's not there if there's film footage. Anyways, back to a more positive note.
Yeah.
I believe Dr. Samson was in there.
Okay.
When Bruce was missing, Betty was dating her.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to
Betty Ross was dating Dr. Samson. If you can find the IMDb for that one real
I'm
quick.
looking up right now. The 2008 Hulk movie. I'm looking at the cast list right now. I see a Samuel Stearns.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe that's the doctor. And
yes, because I'm seeing a Bruce Banner, Betty Ross, Bonsky, Emil Bonsky. Then you got Thunderbolt Ross, Samuel Stern, Leonard, Major Kathleen Spar. You've got Lou Ferrigno was the security guard and the voice of the Incredible Hulk. You have another general. You have Stanley, not Stan Lee, but an actual character, first name Stanley. I think it's Samuel Stearns. Okay, is who you're. Maybe Samuel Stearns is the guy who played Leader. He was going to become Leader.
Okay, no, that's not him. I was talking. There's actually someone dating Betty Ross. Well, anyways, let them correct me then if I'm wrong.
I want to say it's the Leonard character that was dating her, because he looks like the guy that was dating her in the movie. But yeah. They can correct us.
Correct me, please.
That's why we have them. They are our fact checkers.
Seeing, especially since my IMDb won't load.
And I can't. They always tell us when we are wrong. But this is when you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section. What do you think about Hulk? What do you think about Avengers moving forward and the entire MCU? Let us know down below in that comment section. But Johnny, let's move on into our next topic. Going into we've just dove into Marvel. Now we're going to take a dive into DC, and this was one we could have talked about last week, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about last week.
Indeed,
we had
did.
Batman last week. We had to look at the Spider-Man news that came out last week, and then I really wanted to talk about the Gambit movie. So this one, we bumped back to this week. Wonder Woman A gets a title, where it's going to be Wonder Woman 1984, or WW84, for the short abbreviation. It's going to take place in the 80s, and it looks like we got a little snippet of what to expect from the Cheetah character. And if you guys have not seen, I know it was a while ago, you can click right there. You can check out we did when Kristen Wiig was cast for the role, we kind of discussed, I should say, if she was right for the role. I think from that discussion, I was very not enthused about it, very hesitant. That's probably a better word. But what we're getting today is more of what the character could be. So it was the Vulture's Kyle Buchanan that tweeted out that the character that they're probably going to go with is Barbara Ann Minerva. And the little snippet that they did kind of go, and I'm trying to find it here. This is what the article says. I'll just read it. Vulture's Kyle Buchanan tweeted about Minerva's possible character arc in the film, stating that she begins the movie as Diana's friend rather than her enemy. He added she emulates Wonder Woman, then seeks to usurp her. This does indeed sound like Barbara Minerva, but not the original character conceived by Len Wein and George Perez in the 80s. So here's what I want to ask you, Johnny, is what do you think when it comes to if this is the Cheetah that we get? Because I know in the recent comics that I think it was, let me see, that was a Greg Rucka run of basically that Cheetah is Wonder Woman's first friend when she leaves Themyscira. Mm-hmm. However, the Cheetah that I know, especially the Barbara Minerva, I'm going to fuck up that name every chance I get. The little snippet about her, and for those who don't know, so reading straight from her bio, a British archaeologist who had garnered a reputation of going to any lengths to secure an artifact. Born as the heiress of a vast fortune in an ancient family site in Nottinghamshire, her life would change drastically following an expedition she led into the dense African jungle. She was searching for the legendary lost city of Yukastanga tribe. Deep within the jungle, her team was betrayed by their guides and ambushed by the Urzkartan. Wow, I had it in my head. Kartangas. Whatever it is, I'm screwing up that word every left and right too.
Yep.
Only she and one other lived, escaped into the diving river. The two of them found a lost city. Basically, la-di-da-di-da. She goes through. Then there's a whole ritual where how she becomes Cheetah is basically the priestess or whatever is the original Cheetah. She's got to drink some blood in order to do it. But because the person that is supposed to gain the power of the Cheetah is supposed to be a virgin, because she is not, she goes through drastic pain and some physical ailments that turns her into a Cheetah. So that's basically how she becomes Cheetah. So the thing that I'm wondering is how this all connects. If that's the character of Wonder Woman there, or of Cheetah that they're going to use, my question is I'm fine with her being like I'm friends with Wonder Woman. Now I'm not friends with Wonder Woman. I just want to know, how are we going to get from point A of her not having powers to point B of her having the Cheetah powers, while keeping that, having the friend no friend thing, while keeping that true to the comic of how she gets the powers. Unless they already dive in and she has the powers.
Nah.
But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that at all.
What I would probably do for that situation is show their friendship before the powers, but show like that hint of jealousy of you're so freaking powerful, you're so strong, you're so beautiful, etc., etc. You know, that slight friendship jealousness that you got that one thing over, like you're jealous of that one thing of them, but you're like really good friends with them. Show that, and maybe she heard about this thing that could make her just as strong, or she does the, like they said in here, she's an archaeologist, goes for artifacts, and that's like something that ties them in. Like maybe Wonder Woman works with artifacts just because how old she is. Because I don't remember what she did for Batman v Superman or the Wonder Woman movie in like the beginning of that. I don't remember what her job was per se.
She was, so there was in the Wonder Woman movie, and this was part of the Batman movie too, of our BVS. She was, it kind of seemed like she worked for a museum.
Which would work then.
Which would work. Also, the thing that I wanted to look back to, and I'm looking to on YouTube, at the end of Justice League, when we go through all the characters of what they're doing now, we see Wonder Woman, basically her lasso around the enemies, and it's funny because he can't tell a lie and he's telling the officer all these truths. But what did she stop? A heist of a museum. So I figure that she's going to have some relation. That would work because then,
definitely would work.
Cheetah could be originally, before she gets the powers, could be just one of the museum's archaeologists.
Someone that keeps bringing in all these artifacts.
Yeah, or just an archaeology scientist.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing of, to get the powers, they're going to have her go to Africa, basically. Are they going to have her go over there, or are they going to stay local to where they are in the 80s?
I would think make her go over there. It would be more entertaining. And you could either do one of two things with that. You can have her just go by herself.
If she's one of the people that's bringing in all these artifacts, it gives her a reason to then.
Exactly. Maybe you can do one of two things. You can go make her go by herself. I would love more so to see that than Wonder Woman sitting there doing something else. No offense, but have her show the whole thing. She gets caught up in whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Ritual. She does it. Not a virgin.
And I don't know if that's the route they're going to go. I just know that's
it'd be
how
cool.
it was in the comic.
Second one, that would make it kind of cool.
They'll probably just be like, you're not a native, so it didn't take to you like it did to the rest of them. La-di-da-da.
Yeah, probably not do the other one.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be have Wonder Woman go with her, say, hey, Diana, why don't you come with me this time? They both end up going through that, and it's like, it was one of those the jealousy takes over type thing when they find the ritual, and Diana goes, Barbara, no, and she goes, drinks or whatever she has to do, drink it, and the change starts.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a different, because here's another thing that I think we have to backtrack to before I can get to being on your side or against you on that thought. How are they going to be, when they're friends at the beginning, how is Cheetah going to know Wonder Woman? Is she going to know her as Wonder Woman, or is she going to know her as Diana? Because that's a big thing. Because another thing that's going to be, to me, another part of this, so we have the I'm your friend, I'm not your friend. What causes the shift? What causes the imbalance of the ball's going to now roll to I am not your friend and I want to be better than you?
Maybe they're friends as Diana and Barbara, but
and then she finds out that Diana's
not during
Wonder
the
Woman?
movie, but it's not during the movie, maybe pre-movie. She already knows she's Wonder Woman at that point, because if they're best friends, you kind of share that secret with your best friend. It's also not hard to tell Diana is Wonder Woman. But anyways, my thought would be that you have, where was I going with that? Her tell pre-movie, she's already caught up on everything. That's the whole thing. Yeah, there's that hint of jealousy inside of her that, yeah, I'm friends with you, but you're a superhero, you're super strong, blah, blah, blah.
And that's it. It's interesting.
It's something she'd love to have, especially being an archaeologist.
And from the quote, it's interesting how they use the word usurp. Because usurp means I'm looking at it right here for the verb. It's either take a position of power or importance illegally or by force, take a place of someone in position of power illegally or by force, or if we're talking the archaic of encroach or infringe upon someone's rights.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that one. It's one of the other two. Basically, how Cheetah's going to see it is there's going to be a point where it could be she knows her as Wonder Woman or finds out she's Wonder Woman. Once that happens, jealousy creeps in. I want what you have. I want to be what you are. And I'm kind of thinking it's going to be the whole thing of if she finds it out, oh no, you're Wonder Woman? Like how everyone looks up to Wonder Woman. All these girls look up to Wonder Woman. And we're in the 80s at this point.
Yeah.
People know who won. You know what? That's interesting because this would be well before Justice League happened.
Yes, it would.
This would be well before BVS happened. The only thing which would have happened was World War II, but let's be honest, from then to now, I'm assuming people know who Wonder Woman is, because like when they saved that town in Wonder Woman 1, Wonder Woman wasn't very like, ooh, don't show my face, I can't tell you who I am. It's like, boom, I'm Wonder Woman. We got to save this town because it's the right thing to do.
Maybe not like everyone around the world knows Wonder Woman, but people in that area that she stays in, which is Europe, right?
It's London.
London. People in that area would know her.
Yeah.
People where she saves people would somewhat know her. Like the farther she goes out, the less people will know her.
And Cheetah is going to, I'm assuming, before she gets the powers, it's going to be... It might not be a thing where it's like, I am totally against you. It just could be a thing of like, very much so like we've seen in other movies, where it's basically you have friend A who is very influential and has not power over the other person, but is more popular.
They do have power over the other person, but it's not like they flaunt that power. It's not like they're purposely being more powerful. They just can't help it.
Or she could probably be like the awestruck, like, oh, Wonder Woman, you're so great. Diana, you're so great. But then once that issue of, or not that issue, that little variable pops in of, wait, what? I can get powers? I can get powers as a cheetah? Like, then it turns that gear of like, I have what is needed to be better than you. I can get what even though I'm your friend, I've always wanted that, and now I can get it too. I can get that too, and that's why for me, I don't want Diana there. I want that to be a solely Cheetah thing.
Okay.
Of she makes that decision, not thinking about, not even knowing what it's going to do to her, because that's going to be another thing. Of she just thinks it's going to make her basically give her superpowers. Then the kind of twist of it turns her into a cheetah. Basically, that adds another layer onto this that you could virtually have. Not only, because it's like a blessing and a curse, like in the comics. Not only do I have the powers to be better than you if I want, the curse part of it, and what knocks me down, is maybe she thinks when she turns into like the cheetah, great, I have the power to do it, but I will never look as beautiful as you now.
Yeah.
I will never be you because I look like this. Because I am a monster.
And going
now.
from this and her also her...
Which makes her hate Wonder Woman more.
Yeah. Not to mention it's
or
like...
resent her more.
Exactly. The one thing that it said in here is that it hurts to be in her human form, but bloodlust when she's in her cheetah form. It's like, great, I have all these powers, but now I can't be in my human form, or I get bloodlust when I'm in my cheetah form. So that's going to be like make her hate Wonder Woman more if they go with that aspect of that.
Now, here's something I want to ask you, and this is off the topic of Cheetah, but it's on the topic of Wonder Woman because the internet's kind of going a craze with this right now. So there have been photos circulating from set of the Wonder Woman movie, and Chris Pine is on set, played Steve Trevor in the first one.
I'm guessing back flashbacks.
Here's what I want. I wanted to ask you, what do you think it is before I give my thought?
I think it would
because
have to...
everyone's freaking out that he's dead. He's dead. He shouldn't be there. He's dead. Like, and it's like, why is he there then if he died?
I think it would be flashbacks. That would be my guess because I couldn't think why else he would be there.
Here's what I'm thinking. Either one of two things. First one is a no. That's why I'm going to bring it up first. It's his great-great-great-grandson. But no.
I mean, we could, but...
It could, but I don't want that. I don't want Diana
Well, you can't because you didn't have kids.
I don't want Diana... Well, it could be one of those like, oh, Steve Trevor slept with this German chick or whatever, and they had this kid. Like, he didn't think she got pregnant.
His bastard child.
Basically. I don't think they'll go that route.
I don't think so either.
The second one, which I think it is,
yeah,
because in every single picture from set, he is walking with Wonder Woman. So what I think it is, it's headspace. It's her walking, her talking to him, he's in her head. No one else can see him.
So it's just
a vision of him and he always lives in her mind.
Yeah, it's
and
more of
she always talks to
her
him.
way of talking to him without him being there. It's like when you talk to someone or when you talk to yourself.
Exactly.
But she's talking to him, and they're going to purposely bring him in to
until I see
be the
pictures or see something of him in his own scene without her.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to think. I'm just going to think it's in her
head. No, I can see that being the case too. I didn't think of that. And
she just talks to him, and it's like it's my way of still keeping him alive, even if it's in my head, so I can talk to him. Just so I can maybe hear his voice in my head. Yeah,
I mean, that's very, I didn't think of that. That's actually a good one right there. So that could be the case. Like, that he's just like, then they're showing, like, kind of showing that he's there.
Which
he's there.
We don't
air quotes for those who can't see it.
We don't see that much in live action films. Anything you think we missed in this or that we should hit?
No, I think it's going to be interesting when we get more developments on the movie.
I can't wait for this. This one's a year and a half out. This is November of 2019. I can't wait for it. Like Aquaman, I'm kind of a little about.
Well, yeah, haven't gotten a trailer yet.
We're supposed to get one soon. They released a preview today, like some stuff.
Sounds sort of like the dragons.
A little bit. We
don't worry, the dragons are coming.
We got a little bit today. The coolest thing with the Aquaman thing is that we get to see Black Manta, and I'll just talk my little Aquaman here at the end because to keep it all in DC. We see a bit of Black Manta's helmet. And it looks like what it'll be is he's going to be a surface dweller that basically builds the Black Manta suit so that he can walk on the ocean floor deep down where the Atlanteans
Interesting
are.
Concept of that.
So the pressure just doesn't flash, like crush him like a bug.
That's an interesting concept.
Because we also saw the thing I saw on Twitter that I'll show you after we're done recording is there's a picture of Aquaman in like, not his suit and armor, but like just a normal like gray shirt with like the drawstrings and stuff. And then there's Mara with her red hair, and she's in a white gown. And someone on Twitter, I had to like it. They go, please tell me someone else didn't also think of this. And it's a picture of them. And then the next picture is the Little Mermaid when she's on land. And she's in like the white shirt, and like she's on the beach, like right after she gets her legs.
With that sail wrapped around her.
Yeah. And it's basically, I'm like, oh my God. They are exactly the same, except Aquaman is there and he's not in the other one. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What do you think of Cheetah? What do you think her role is going to be? And how do you think she's going to get her powers? How do you think she's going to play in being Wonder Woman's friend at the beginning, then being her enemy, obviously, towards the end? Let us know also what you guys think about the Aquaman stuff, because I'd love to get your thoughts about that as well. Let us know down below in that comment section. Let's move on, though, into our final topic, Johnny, and what we're looking at, a little bit of gaming news. And I picked this one for a reason. So 2 weeks ago, you guys might have already seen, we got a new gaming podcast here at MVP. Too old. Here's what I think we're doing, and Dave and Mark can correct me, but the hand signal is too old to game. Too old to game. Because you're making a 2, then an O, then a 2, then a G. You got to really extend that thumb. My thumb's not long enough. You got to curl it up. And you got to make a No, it's a hand signal. It's not sign language. It's a hand signal. Basically, the podcast is called Too Old to Game. It's going to be every single week gaming podcast. So I picked this topic so we can promote it and also talk about it because
a smart ass, by the way.
We are not recording that podcast the week that Dave and I are at VidCon. So here's what I want to talk about. We talk about Stranger Things enough on this podcast.
Since when?
And the thing that I find interesting, Stranger Things is getting a video game. And they are getting, to me, a very interesting video game because the Telltale Games at Telltale Games tweeted this out. Separately, we're thrilled to confirm that Telltale is developing a game based on Stranger Things that will publish to consoles and computers for a later date. So, Johnny, this is what I want to ask you. We've got The Walking Dead, which The Walking Dead Telltale game, really good. Then we've got the Batman one. Oh, I love it so much.
Haven't played it.
Then we had the Guardians of the Galaxy one, which both you and I had played. let's be honest, it wasn't really hitting with me after an episode, and most of the reviews didn't like it. It didn't hit with everyone else. So that's probably the only dud that we've gotten in the Telltale universe. Here's what I want to ask you. We also have like Wolf Among Us as well. That is really good. Plays off of the Fables kind of territory of comics. What I want to ask you, what are your thoughts and reactions to getting a Telltale-like game where we know it's going to be heavily story-based and it's going to be based on your decisions and what do you do? What do you think about the Stranger Things universe coming to Telltale?
I think that's probably the best way to make a game about this series. That it would be
especially in the horror
genre. Yeah, no, that's probably the best way. The only other way would be to do a Silent Hill one, and that's
or like a Resident Evil type.
Not even
without the shooting.
Honestly, not really Resident Evil because that's a lot of shooting.
Yeah, without the shooting, which is Resident Evil.
Yeah, I mean, how do you do Resident Evil without the shooting, really? So, I mean, I think Telltale is probably the best way to make a game about this, which is cool because it's real. I mean, even the shows are very heavily story based and not really like action based. There's not really a lot of fighting until like the very end of either of them.
Really, if it's fighting, it's, oh my god, I've got to move my mouse over and I've got to either click really fast or hit this button really fast. That's about all the action there is.
Exactly. There's not going to be a lot of that because I mean, in the storylines, there's not a ton of that. It's mostly, and if you're 11, you do some things here and there, and spoilers if for some reason you didn't watch it yet. You defeat the Demigorgon.
Yeah.
I forgot what she uses it pretty heavily in the second one, like for some things, flipping a truck or flipping a van, I should say. A lot of like flipping between worlds mentally. And there was one she really uses it heavily at the end. Well, I forgot what for though.
And the thing that I'm also thinking about is we don't know what it's going to be called either. Also, another Telltale game I didn't mention was the Game of Thrones one, which they're going to be coming out with Season 2 at some time. Also, Wolf Among Us Season 2 is coming in 2019 as well. But with Stranger Things, the thing that is interesting is, are we even, like you mentioned 11, we might not even get that group. Because if you think about it, most of the Telltale games, except for maybe the Batman one, like I look at it, except for Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy, those are the only two that deal with the same protagonist that we have in the source medium.
Honestly,
you look at The Walking Dead, we weren't following Rick and his guys. We were following Clementine. So for me, I'm wondering, are they going to do it to where it's like a Batman Telltale game where we're following around 11 and the guys? Or are they going to say, you know what? Netflix and that series is doing a great job of telling you about this one group. Let's tell you about this group over here. What's going on in a different part of this town, or even a different character to tell a different story that the Netflix series isn't telling.
That's either that. That's going to be interesting with the because
it's such a small town.
Yeah. Well, not just that too. I would say it's either got to be the group, someone in the group, or switching out in between people of the group.
Or, and I think this is a season 1 reference, or it could be season 2. Basically, you know how they go through like the government facility?
Yeah.
And like, it's like, oh, they were in this room. What if it's a prequel to the events and it's 11 going through everything before the thing in Hawkins happens?
It could be that. It could be the other one I was going to say is someone from the lab during the events.
It could be that too.
So that way you don't have special powers. You don't have, like, you have some know-how of something. You're an adult. We could be. I would say it's one of those three. Yeah. But the one thing I was going to say that when you brought up the Batman thing, even that's not really like. Even that's kind of everything Telltale. It's not on the mainstream because it's about Bruce. It's about Bruce Wayne. It's not about Batman.
It's more, you're more spent in Bruce's body than you are Batman's costume.
Exactly. So,
which is interesting because most of the TV series, like you said, we get Batman and we get very little Bruce in there. I'm excited for this. Like, this is one where, like you mentioned before, if you're gonna do a Stranger Things game, this is how you do it. Because for Stranger Things, the thing that, even think about when you're watching the TV show or the series on Netflix, a lot of the time it's like with Dusty when he's going over to the trash can. I'm sitting there screaming at my TV, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. If I was playing, I could say, nope, we're not doing that. We're getting the fuck out of here kind of a thing.
Yep.
Like, you already do that when you watch it, of basically like, hey, you know what? I'm already screaming at my TV not to do something. Now I actually get to choose whether or not to do it. Or the thing that I like in Telltale games more so, Wolf Among Us was like this. It was conversational as well. So, like, if you are 11 talking to one of the guys and you're controlling that guy, it's all right, how am I going to respond to 11 and which response, or I'm going to respond to Dusty in this. What response am I going to give? What is that going to make him feel like? For, let's say, an example, you're going through, you got 4 choices, I'm going to choose this one. Ooh, that just made that relationship just kind of drift a little bit apart. Or, oh, I said this, all right, we're back together. He forgave me, and he's not mad at me. Like, you can play a lot of that also with the Stranger Things characters.
Yeah, no, that'd be interesting. I would feel like it would be kind of cool too, is having each chapter you kind of like are a different one of the characters from the group if they do the group. Yeah. That way you can play as a little bit of everyone.
Also, here's another thing, and this kind of feeds into the whole prequel or opposite story. Netflix has to have a plan with this too. They have to have some feed into it. It's not like a, oh my God, do as we say, but it's not going to be something like where my first thought is, holy crap, what if we played as Harbor's character, but it was him and his daughter, and we find out what happened to his daughter. But then I look at that and I go, they're probably going to answer that in the TV series at some point.
At some point, yeah. So, also, I didn't even think about it. What if we do play as Harbor?
What if we do?
Like during the events instead.
We could.
That could be another one. I didn't even think about that.
We could play as him. What if we played as Jonathan? We play as Jonathan, maybe Jonathan Steve a little bit. Yeah. More so Jonathan, I would say, would be another good one to play as. He's the brother. Okay. It was either Steve or Jonathan. Like him and the sister went off to.
Steve would seem more like a season 2 one.
Steve, I don't see us playing as Steve.
No, but I see if they were to introduce Steve as a character, it'd be during season 2.
The thing that I know for sure is I know they're not going to tell the same story that we're getting in the Netflix. It's going to be something additional, something outside.
Yeah, they're not going to just copy and paste it from the Netflix one.
It's just, what is it going to be? Is it going to be, or is it going to be, and I'm saying going to be a lot. I know that.
Going to be.
Is it going to be, because they say in the Stranger Things universe, is it going to be a alternate universe in the Stranger Things of like, okay, while this is going on, these people, although you haven't been focusing on it because you've been focusing on this group for so long, this person, kind of like Clementine for The Walking Dead, you're playing as this random person while all that's going on in Hawkins, who's experiencing similar things.
True, it could be something along the lines of that.
Because how do you also... Here's one thing I'll ask. I'll just get it off my mind. Do they show the Upside Down with Will? Do we play as Will in the Upside Down? And like...
Something's
walking through the Upside Down, getting like that very like creepy vibe with it of like everything. Do we see a Demogorgon? Do they go more with Demodogs? Do they go more down the road of like, all right, we're going to introduce... Netflix tells them, okay, you can introduce this monster that'll be unique to the Telltale series. What are they going to do? What's the creativity going to be like as well?
Yeah, I would say, think that it'd be interesting. I would think you have to introduce at least a little bit of the Upside Down or stuff from the Upside Down. It's got to be one or the other. You can't have neither, because then what's the point in the game, really?
Well, you can't have Stranger Things without the Upside Down.
Exactly.
Or without the Demogorgons or Demidogs.
It's something to relate it to the Upside Down.
There has to be a threat from the Upside Down.
Exactly. So if it's not in there, why do you have the Telltale game? The one thing I really want to say, make it come out in October.
With Halloween?
Halloween right there. That'd be a game to play at night around in October. October's like the Halloween month right there.
Let me put it this way. I'm going to look up really quick. Stranger Things Season 3. I don't think they have a release date. Let me see.
I'm saying for this.
No, I know, but...
For the Telltale.
Let's see. Stranger Things 1 and 2. So Stranger Things season 3, and this is from NME.com. They're saying that season 3 at the end of 2018 at the earliest, maybe even the start of 2019. The only thing I'm thinking about is it takes a little bit longer to produce a game. What I'm thinking happens, we get season 3 of Netflix before the Telltale.
Yeah.
Telltale, maybe October 2019. At the earliest is when we get this game.
That's what I'm saying.
I just didn't want people thinking, yeah, dude, 2018 of October, that's when I want it. We're probably not going to get it by October of 2018.
I just want them to release it in the month of October. That's what I'm saying.
In October or Halloween weekend? Which one? Would you want it on Halloween weekend? Or would you want it just sometime in October?
Sometime in October, because I do things on Halloween weekend. Mm-hmm. That's when Johnny
and if you
gets
release
to
it,
embrace
let's
Halloween.
say 2 weeks before Halloween, that gets people the time to buy it, and then they can play it around that Halloween
See, Johnny
time.
embraces Halloween, so...
I'm a Christmas guy. I'm not a Halloween guy.
I'm a Halloween guy. I love Halloween, so I embrace Halloween.
You just love evil things and scaring people, huh? You're not about joy and giving presents.
Release the evil.
Yeah, and I am like the big fat man, the Santa guy. You're
Release
like,
the awesome. I mean,
are you
really?
are you little nicking me, by the way?
I am little nicking
you. Are
you.
little nicking me. I was like, I know what that is. Does that mean I have to hit you with a shovel? Is that what that means? I gotta hit you with a God, you do the laugh too. All right, before you creep me out even more, any final thoughts on Stranger Things coming to Telltale? I didn't expect you to do the little Nicky laugh on me because you do it pretty spot on, Johnny. I don't know if anyone has told you that before.
They said my mother was a goat because of my chronic halitosis.
Did you watch that movie recently?
No, you just made me think of it for some reason.
I don't know.
Because you said release the evil. I'm like, Lil Nicky.
Yeah.
And let's be fair, the Santa thing, which of us have dressed up in the suit twice already?
You, not me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I still
I know
embrace
it's not
Christmas.
me. I've never done
I
the
still
Santa
embrace
thing.
Christmas, so don't give me that.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up this
No,
podcast?
I'm excited for this. This is one of those ones that I'll put the money down for and play it on this computer once I fix it up.
Well, next week, you know what we also need to do since you did the little Nicky thing?
Huh.
Either next week or when we get to the winter, we got to get you that big blue puffy jacket that little Nicky wears. You got to wear that for a full podcast.
Damn it.
With like the red pants that he wears also.
You're buying it? I'll wear it, sure.
I'll buy it. I mean, if I can find it for cheap, man, I'll buy it.
You buy it, I'll wear
red
it
pants,
for a podcast.
big puffy blue jacket.
But the whole podcast, I'm going to talk like that, too.
Oh, you have to.
You also have to buy me a bucket of chicken.
Oh, I'm not buying you a bucket of chicken. That's going to be a little bit expensive. Maybe if we're sponsored, then I'll get you a bucket of chicken.
You hear that, Popeyes?
Is that the chicken you
That's
want?
the chicken. Well, that's the chicken from the movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It is. I was thinking like KFC, Browns.
Nah.
Not sponsored, by the way.
It's got to be sponsored by Popeyes.
All right.
Because that's from the movie.
So we'll work on that Popeye sponsorship for it. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section. What do you think of Stranger Things coming to Telltale? Also, anything we talked about today. Wonder Woman with the Cheetah news coming out. The theory that we dived into with the Avengers with Professor Hulk. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. Also, housekeeping here at the end of the podcast. Make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That's where you can get a ton of rewards for an exclusive Patreon podcast each and every month for as low as $1. $2 if you want that video. Then if you're at our $10 tier, you could join a podcast each and every month. You are at that tier. So check out that link down below in the description. Make sure to check out our store where you can get an MVP t-shirt. That's in the description as well. Also, check out mostvaluablepodcast.com and rate us 5 stars on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. Want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Want to thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Release the awesome.